How to upgrade a fuse holder on a Honda CT90. You will need an inline bladed fuse holder, a selection of 15 amp fuses, a selection of shrink tubing, a soldering iron and some solder, and some wire strippers. First, remove the battery cover. Always inspect the battery and wires for any damage. Then locate the fuse holder and the positive terminals. And disconnect the positive terminals. Remove the ground terminals with a flat screwdriver. Remove the old glass fuse. Inspect the fuse for any damage or overheating. Use your wire strippers to remove the female end of the fuse holder. Then remove the male end of the fuse holder. Strip off 5mm of shielding from the 16 gauge wire with your wire strippers. Remove the new inline fuse holder and inspect it for any damage. Strip off the ends of the fuse holder. The stripped ends of the wire should be even and of the same size. Dip the ends of the wires into some soldering flux. Press the ends of the wire together, letting the strands mesh. Then heat up your iron. Tin the surface of your iron and knock off any excess. Remember to put your shrink tubing on before you solder. Place your iron under the wire. Turn the iron on and apply the solder from the top. The flux will smoke off first. Then the heat will draw the solder into the joint. Inspect the joint by giving it a good tug. Then slide the heat shrink tubing over. Lightly flame the shrink tubing to seal it. Carefully press while it's warm to check for a good seal. Carefully place the second piece of shrink tubing. Trim another 5mm of shielding off the other positive terminal. and apply some flux. If needed, you can use a small alligator clamp to hold the wires together. Retin the iron and remove the excess solder. Remember to let the heat do the work. Place a light pressure down on the solder. The solder will flow through the joint towards the heat. Inspect the joint by giving it a few good tugs. Use your pliers to crimp any stray wires so they don't damage the shrink tubing. Then slide the shrink tubing over the joint. Then lightly flame to seal the tubing. Grab a 15 amp fuse from your pack. And press the fuse firmly into the holder. Connect the non-shielded red wire with a blue stripe to the fuse. The unfused lead goes to the shielded red wire with a white stripe. Then tuck everything securely behind the flasher relay. Locate all your ground wires. In this case I have 3, you may only have 2. Replace the ground terminal bolt. Check that all your wires and the vent tubing aren't pinched. And say goodbye to the old troublesome glass fuse holder. Print a copy of your bike schematics for your electrical system with a laser printer, and then tape a fuse to the bottom of the sheet. Even if you don't know how to read one of these, someone will. They'll probably be able to help you out. Then place it inside your battery cover so it's ready when and if you need it. And finally, replace the battery cover. Make sure not to pinch the battery vent tube. Installation's done, time to test it. Check your headlight first. Then start the bike and test both turn signals. Then vary the revs to check the charging circuit. You'll notice the headlight's beam increasing in brightness. That's it, the job's done. Enjoy your more reliable fuse.